Ani, and happy 35th anniversary, FNTI. My name is Greg Luke, and I'm a member of the Matagami First Nation. I graduated the aviation program in 1999, and I was fortunate enough to flight instruct for FNTI for 4 years. From then, I went on to fly float planes up in Thompson, Manitoba, and I eventually landed in Timmins, where I've been flying for Air Quebec for the last 16 years. It makes me proud to see so many graduates from FNTI in the aviation industry. Many of them I've had the privilege to teach, and I'll always be grateful for all the opportunities FNTI has given me, along with the many amazing friendships. Chimigwich, and happy anniversary.
Happy 35th anniversary, FNTI. My name is WABANO. I'm from Pewanak, Ontario, which is off the coast of Hudson Bay. I graduated FNTI in the year of 2015, and since then I went to work with Air Quebec as a first officer, where we serve northern communities, both on the Quebec and Ontario side. To those currently enrolled into the FNTI program, I hope to hear you guys soon in the sky. Good luck. Have fun.
Congratulations, FNTI, on 35 successful years. If it wasn't for you and the Public Administration and Governance program, I wouldn't have this. I achieved my BA in 2005, and I've never looked back. So thank you so much for offering this great program to our First Nation members across this Turtle Island here, and here's to 35 more successful years. Go FNTI!
Hi, I'm Ted Keepill. I'm a graduate of the FNTI Aviation Program, now working with Jazz Aviation. I'd like to say congratulations on 35 years.
Sago FNTI, happy 35th anniversary. My name is KOHOKO. I'm from Tyendinaga. Graduated FNTI in class of 1997. Today I'm currently working at Air Quebec, captain on Dash 8. Just like to send out a big huge thanks to FNTI for all the training and support that I received while I was there. Helped me pursue my dreams as a pilot. For all of you graduating or still training, be strong, hang in there. Pandemic won't last long. Aviation will pick back up soon. Nyawa. Goodbye.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrew BISSON. I'm a member of Chicken First Nation. I graduated from Ryerson FNTI program in 2014, and now I'm an instructor with the program. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone at FNTI. You've made a massive difference for me and for so many First Nations people across the province. Chimigwech.
Ani, hello. My name is SABRINA MANITOWABI. I'm from Wokamakong Unceded Territory and a pilot for Air Quebec. I graduated from FNTI, class of 2007, and I just want to say happy 35th anniversary.
Hi, I'm Raven Beardy, class of 2012 Fixed Wing program. I'm a proud member of the Shimada First Nation in Manitoba. I'm a commercial pilot. My time at FNTI was a very important part of my life. There were certainly challenges, but FNTI was always there for me. I've even had the opportunity to fly with a fellow FNTI graduate as my first officer. Happy 35th anniversary, FNTI, and many more.
Happy 35th anniversary FNTI. My name is Kayla, I'm from Thunder Bay. I graduated FNTI in 2019 and now I'm a first officer for Mississippi Airways, flying in northern Manitoba.
Sago FNTI, happy 35th anniversary. Inspector Gary Maracle, Unit Commander, OPP Aviation Services here. I'm a graduated member of the 1993 class. So just consider the impact you've made throughout Ontario. In the last 5 years, I've been Unit Commander who directly been responsible for locating over 700 lost and missing and overdue persons throughout Ontario. That couldn't have happened without the education, guidance, and experience I gained in my time at FNTI. So thank you for making such a big impact on my life and those throughout Ontario. Happy anniversary, everybody.
Hello and happy 35th anniversary FNTI. My name is April O'Halloran and I'm a graduate of the 2018 Aviation Fixed Wing program and a member of Nipissing First Nations. Currently work as a medevac pilot for Mississippi Airways. We're based out of Manitoba, helping isolated northern remote communities gain access to proper medical care. Without FNTI's guidance, teaching, and resources, I wouldn't be able to do the job I'm doing right now. To all the students enrolled, keep up the good work. I know it's challenging times, and to all the alumni, congratulations on your many accomplishments. Again, I say happy 35th anniversary FNTI. That's an awesome accomplishment.
Segu, very well, we say young gets. Kind of nega need the WABANO done on FNTI because we used to hit it. Happy anniversary FNTI, 35 years. Me, I studied through my social service diploma, my master's. I'm currently working on and finished my BSW 2 years ago. Yamagoa, and happy anniversary.
Hello, my name is Cameron Anderson. I graduated FNTI in 1999. Just like to say very big congratulations on the 35th anniversary of flight school. Big accomplishment, and many thanks to my flight instructor that helped me through. I've been flying now for Provincial Airlines for the last 19 years. Started out on a Twin Otter, spent 12 years flying offshore on a King-Air, doing offshore stints, and now most recently on the Dash. Anyways, just like to say once again, congratulations on 35 years and hopefully 35 more. Thank you.
Happy anniversary FNTI. My name is Dakota FERSTER and I graduated from the aviation program in 2011. I'm currently employed as a first officer with Air Canada, where I've been flying the Boeing 767 for the last 2.5 years. I recently started training on the Airbus A220, and I should be checked out and flying online in a couple months. Congratulations on 35 years and all the best in the future.
Ani, good afternoon. Happy 35th anniversary, FNTI. Teresa Migwans, Atikmikshing Anishinaabek. Finance Manager for Atikmikshing Anishinaabek. I graduated in 2005 from the Public Administration and Governance program between FNTI and Ryerson University. So congratulations, 35 years and more to come. Miigwech. Bamapi.
I'm Vanessa Brown, a graduate of the aviation program in 2014. I'm currently working for PAL Aerospace in the medevac program in my hometown of Happy Valley Goose Bay. Congratulations FNTI on 35 years.
Ani, my name is Victor TABOBANDUNG. I'm an Anishinaabe from the Wasauksing First Nation. I'm an alumni graduate of the FNTI Aviation Program, class of 1992. I'm proud to be working at Air Canada as a Boeing 777 First Officer. My experience helps me give back to the program as both a simulator instructor and the facilitator of the Crew Resource Management course. I just wanted to say congratulations on the 35th anniversary and Chimigwech for helping all our dreams take flight.
Hi everybody, my name is Nathan. I'm a member of the Tyendinaga Mohawk Territory. I am an FNTI graduate. I graduated in 2001 and I am currently employed with Air Quebec. I've been with Air Quebec since 2006 and I'm a Dash 8 line captain and I'm just so proud to be a graduate of the program. Amazing experience, wonderful people, and I encourage anyone interested in getting into aviation to look at FNTI. Amazing program, wonderful people, 35 years, so proud.
Happy 35th anniversary, FNTI. It's been 35 years of providing stellar educational programs and access to Indigenous students across Ontario as well as other parts of Canada. My name is Steve Teekins. I'm from Nipissing First Nation and I attended the Public Administration program and graduated in 2017. And then I went on to do the Masters of Public Administration program in partnership with FNTI and Queen's University. And I just graduated in 2020. So anyways, this educational experience, what it's brought to me in my life is confidence in the work that I do. I've been able to, fulfill my current role as the executive director far more effectively. They give me a lot of the tools I need to know to do my job well, as well as understand the functions of both federal, provincial, and municipal governments, and how to successfully maneuver across them and understand the procedures that they have in place. So, I also work as with FNTI on a part-time basis as the cultural advisor for the PAG program. And FNTI has really created a lot of great opportunities for me personally in my career, and I'm very grateful. So, wish FNTI and happy anniversary.
Greetings. Welcome to FNTI's 35th anniversary celebration. My name's Adam Hopkins, and I'll be the MC for today's event, Kula Malsi. As is the custom when our communities gather and bring our people together, we'll start today's event with a ceremony and a Thanksgiving address. So I'd like to introduce Ganasom, or Kevin Deere, who is the Vice President Academic for FNTI. Kevin, I'll hand it off to you.
Tanegadi, Wini Zaradu, Zenidus Wadahu Sadadu, Kigo Yori Hawana Nohoda Yugo Dudge, Nene FNTI Oriwage, Nene Kigo the Tixalgo Nohoda the Westo Haje, I almost need Jutkuskana Gage, Nohodo Tanuzeni Doyerha. Negadiwa Honda Signora Tana Hodum Deriwata, the Onyx Unka, on the Hotka, where Dokarani wanna get Zeniga, Neganuada Dunsara. When is a rade, what ego, Aguego says, what that Garides, Ghana, Zawanu Tunu, Tanaguegunes are Wazir and Ioni. Ogodino Jerezi Tuniot, Nezi Atste, no, on the what got on the Hoda the one Dunque, Tidney Star Hudza. Say you got Gon Haja, Gueguds in a Hoda, you got to chat the when is a rage. The Ted used to list in a Hodo. Toga you go near Tato, so what to say, Garnegi or Ned the Wahnegira. Toga you go and walk the say you unquaso, you kiat again us. Kaheter Gunaguadia, Gueguds in the Garne, Jun Hekwo. Carhagu say good to need to know where the Duckinuja, Gueguneguta the Winio. Tenizi guard Hahede, Ugure Sunda, Tanukarunda, Sua. Senigane Ojita Ogun or Gesti, non as a tundene, yet the Garan again, what the Scana and the one Yungu. On an anno not that's a tunk over it and hold the Anago Gageru, Nazenigane Gaeni Goerage. Nanioni Zenigane Yetisa Togara de Veras. Who was anyone is it? So what's the Jokinaka Garakwa? None Yaguandas, Nazenigane Yukisata Sataneka Garakwa. Nanioni Zenidzi that you stuck Quadunu, Sagi Yaguayo. Tokarani Kagara Gea, you got the under on the Jarrett, Tunisi or Wizu. Senigane Yuki Soto Goha, Yakan de Hunas honor, than Zenihadi Tadias, no the Wasade, Senigariwes, you got the wine and go no one at Zimzade. On an nan, hold the one at Dunkune, Saoyera got so Stonsera Goa, Ojageno Niru, Nana Taru Yawagu, Sugoya Dizu. I was ne Jutku, Nana the Hotko and Nero di Sastonsera than a Jutku Skana Agahage, Nana go no one Unsage. On an there, the Gotkowe, Takarani wanna get in the Gana Ganu or a Dunsera, on an now again Hudungo, and water to walk Tarunian or the Kariwahere, no one is rather. So this time, just a few words in English to acknowledge each and every one of us that are on this call today to talk about this 35-year celebration of FNTI. We always start out with the Thanksgiving address because in there we have our own creation story. It tells us who we are, where do we come from, why we are here. And all of our sacred ceremonies, songs, dances, and rituals always about giving thanks. Giving thanks to us, the people, our extended families, our good health, and to all the things from the bosom of our mother that continue to sustain us. To the waters, the grasses, the medicines, to the corn, the beans, the squash, the insects, the flowers, to the trees and all of their usefulness, those animals. When we look up up to the birds that sing their beautiful songs, and then what's hanging in the sky, the four directions, the four winds, our grandfather, the thunder beings, our elder brother, the sun, our grandmother, the moon. The stars, the star knowledge, all of our ancestors that are now in the spirit realm and are part of that sacred energy, that source of life that we are all connected to. And we say that to that source of life and that sacred energy that we are grateful and that we're happy to be here again. And that we ask that all of those things, those gifts continue to do their work and responsibility so that we, the human being, continue to live another day with our bellies full with peace, happiness, and joy. So these are the things that we say at this time to open up any meeting or any kind of a discussion that we have. I was asked to say a few words in Mohawk and English. So at this time now, I welcome all of you and I'll turn it back over to Adam. Thank you.
Imigwech Gunason, as part of the second part of our ceremonial opening, we'll be showing a pre-record from Dustin Brant, who will be talking about the 2-row and friendship belts, and we'll also be sharing a friendship song with the group.
Sego, everybody. Dustin here. Good to see you. Today I'm going to do the friendship song to help out with today's meeting festivities. So the friendship dance and song represents friendship between us and anybody new coming in. It's just a song that kind of gets everybody together and reminds us of what friendship means, I guess you could say, and it's something that we use to honor each other because everybody kind of takes part in it. Everybody, if there's people singing, then those people are taking part. If there's people dancing, then they're taking part. If there's people just watching around, then they're seeing everything happening. And it's just something that puts you in a good mood, so it's something that's appropriate for today. We are We're here today to talk about wampum and the importance of wampum and what they represent. So we didn't have a written language, and we needed to record laws and legislation because we had a governance structure, and this is one way that we did it. So these belts are actually replicas, but the original belts were actually made from a bead that was carved out of a quahog shell. And we didn't have quahog shells traditionally around this area, and maybe not even traditionally around Lake Ontario, but we were able to travel to other nations that did have that, and we were able to trade our goods and be able to get those. And so that's what we would have made these belts out of originally. But as these replicas, they're now made of glass beads, but they still look really beautiful. So today, in my hand right now, is I have the friendship belt between the Haudenosaunee and the Ojibwe, the Anishinaabe people. And so one of these squares represents the Haudenosaunee, and then on the other side of the belt, it represents the Anishinaabe people. And so this belt was created when we decided that we weren't going to have conflict or didn't want any more conflict with one another. And that belt was created, and then it was recorded, and so now it's law. And so every so often we bring these out and we talk about them. Another belt that we have that's important within our culture and our history is the Turo wampum, and this is the Turo wampum. And you can see that we've got two blue stripes, and so each stripe represents a nation. One is the Haudenosaunee and one is the Dutch, because that is the first nation that came and decided to have make a peace bond with us, and so that was done in 1613, and so they just celebrated the anniversary, 400th year anniversary, back in 2013. And so what this represents, and again when we're talking about these two lines right here, One represents the ship or a vessel of the Dutch, and the other a vessel or a canoe of the Haudenosaunee. And so the white actually represents like a body of water, and that we're cruising through and sailing through life, and we're not interfering or trying to intertwine or trying to influence anybody at any point in time. We're just going to go along life, and we're going to go down the straight and narrow, and we're just going to respect each other's wishes and be peaceable. And so that's what that represents. And yeah, two beautiful belts, very, very important within our culture. And Nyawagoa for listening to me today.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that video from Dustin Brant, Chi-miigwech to Gunason and Dustin for providing those words and a traditional ceremonial opening for today's event. So again, my name's Adam. I'm the Master of Ceremonies for today. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started with our welcome from our president. We are recording this session, just so you know, for those of you on Facebook. We are not following a traditional order of speaking for events, but that certainly doesn't make today's event any less special. And this is our first event that we've broadcast live through Facebook. So I hope you'll take it easy on us. I'm sure, you know, as we progress through the year with other 35th anniversary events, we'll fine tune this process. And then the last piece is that I'll be asking some trivia questions as we go through. So those of you on Facebook that are watching, please feel free to use the chat. And we've actually got some pretty cool swag that we'll be providing to those who are answering the trivia questions correctly. So the marketing team will be interacting there. So feel free to provide some responses to those trivia questions as we progress here. Okay, to provide welcome and opening remarks, I'm going to hand it off to our president, Suzanne Brant. Suzanne, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Adam. So thank you so much for joining us today in our celebration of FNTI's 35th anniversary. FNTI, also known as the First Nations Technical Institute, is an Indigenous-owned and controlled post-secondary institute created to provide access to post-secondary programs for Indigenous people. It was the vision of Chief Earl Hill, who's also my uncle, or great-uncle, to provide education and training within the First Nations community. Chief Hill said, "Our people missed the Industrial Revolution and we shall not miss the Technical Revolution," hence the inclusion of technical in our name. His vision was realized in 1985 through collaboration between the Tyndall Mohawk Council, FNTI Board of Directors, Indian and Northern Affairs Canada, and the Ontario Ministry of Education and Training. Now, over 35 years old, FNTI delivers a range of programs, and its approaches to Indigenous, Métis, and Inuit post-secondary over the years include alternative delivery methods, such as an intense course offering, use of video conferencing technology, and delivering programs to our communities. We believe that by taking the education to the people, we have removed one barrier to access. By changing the delivery schedule, we have removed another. And our final step has been to create active, participatory learning environments which respond to cultural and socio-economic needs of our learners. FNTI is a place for Indigenous students to succeed. I am most excited and proud of the passing of the Indigenous Institutes Act in 2017 that not only provides recognition for Indigenous post-secondary institutes, but also recognizes the United Nations Declaration of Indigenous Peoples' Rights. I worked diligently over many years for this legislation and the first in the province to be co-created using an Indigenous model of consensus building. It is truly a perfect representation of reconciliation and restorative practice. When I initially joined FNTI, I had a clear vision of creating Indigenous knowledge courses. I knew that there was a big gap in our human health and our environmental health, and I was determined I was going to create courses in Indigenous approaches to health and wellness. These 12 courses later became the an accredited program in Indigenous approaches to health and well-being. And we ended up offering the program here at FNTI. At that time, I had no idea that it would eventually lead to being appointed president of FNTI, which is a world-class Indigenous education institute. I am honored and humbled to have this wonderful opportunity to share the joy and pride we all feel for our students' success. I would like to welcome everyone and express my gratitude to our learners, our board of directors, my leadership team and the staff at FNTI who continue to give me the opportunity to lead them. Without their support and diligence, I wouldn't be able to do my job. So welcome everyone to FNTI's 35th celebration. Nyawagoa.
All right, thanks so much, Suzanne, for those beautiful words. Great way to get us started here. So chi miigwech. We're very honored to have next to speak is the Member of Provincial Parliament for Northumberland, Peterborough South. I should know that, it's the riding just about 5 minutes from me. But I'd like to introduce David Piccini, who is also the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister for Colleges and Universities. PA Piccini, I'll hand it off to you. Welcome.
Thank you, Miigwech. Thank you, Adam and Suzanne. Always wonderful to see you and so many other familiar faces. I'm joined by my colleagues, Minister Smith, I believe today, and MPP Cramp. So thank you very much for having me and for that introduction and welcoming me to this exciting virtual celebration. Suzanne, I'm very glad that you touched on the importance of the Act and of the work that you're doing and the important role and the seminal role that education plays in a cultural context and the important role that it plays for a reconciliation going forward. And thank you for your leadership and the team at FNTI and the remarkable work that you're doing. I've so enjoyed the many consultations we've had over the past number of weeks and months throughout the difficult time that we find ourselves in with COVID. I'm glad to see, as I said, so many familiar faces. And before I start my remarks, I would like to acknowledge the land and people that are hosting us. Ontario has long been a gathering place for people for millennia and has been stewarded by many nations, including the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Illuac, the Métis, and Wendat peoples. I'd like to begin by thanking all of you for the work that you do to support your learners and your community. Whether that's helping learners get their college diplomas or post-secondary degrees, getting job ready, or getting personal and professional development, you all play a critical role in molding and shaping our next generation. FNTI has been an important part of the secondary and post-secondary education landscape for some 35 years and continues to make a significant difference with programs and services that are rooted in Indigenous culture and ways of knowing and learning and are so seminal in the proud region of Ontario that I have the opportunity to represent. So congratulations. I mean, this is a remarkable achievement that you should be very proud of. You've given more than 4,000 graduates from your programs the opportunity to be practicing professions in all sectors of the economy, from aviation, technology, and I followed that on Facebook very closely, to early childhood education, to restorative justice, film, media, you name it. You play a seminal role. And you've given these graduates the tools they need to succeed in an ever-changing economy. I'd like to congratulate FNTI on your organizational accreditation by the Indigenous Advanced Education and Skills Council. Lori, it's very good to see you here today as well. It's a major step towards seeking approval to expand FNTI's programs to include independent, quality-assured post-secondary credentials. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the hard work needed to respond to COVID-19. You've all risen to the challenge and pivot to providing almost all your courses online so quickly. We had that discussion the other day. I know Adam and you, Suzanne, everyone have been working remarkably hard on that. Our government will continue to support our colleges, universities, and Indigenous institutes in providing access to and success in post-secondary education for our Indigenous learners. We've committed to building an economy that allows more Ontario workers, including Indigenous peoples, to find a job in their home communities, start a business, grow a business, or invest in Ontario. Ontario will continue to support our Indigenous institutes with operating funding to provide post-secondary education and training for Indigenous learners, and continue to work with Indigenous communities across the province to ensure that Indigenous institutes continue to flourish and grow into the future. We have a shared goal of ensuring that Indigenous learners and communities have the tools and resources needed to build solutions, develop economies, revitalize languages and cultures, and become truly empowered leaders. And I look forward to continuing to work together with all of you to build the conditions that make it easier for Indigenous peoples to access high quality education. And to what the future will bring in the next 35 years. I'm very excited. And again, on behalf of the Government of Ontario, thank you for the seminal roles you play in your local communities. I, on a personal note, have really learned a great deal as an elected member. Thanks to all of you in a number of the conversations we've had. And I know one of the silver linings to COVID-19 has been the opportunity to engage you in a truly meaningful manner over the last number of weeks and months on the challenges, shared challenges we've all faced. But you've given a lot to me as a local and regional elected member, and I'll forever be grateful. And for all of the youth that I've had the opportunity to engage with who've touched FNTI over the past number of years, thank you for the work that you're doing. Congratulations again on behalf of Minister Romano and our government, wishing you all the best in the 35 years to come, and thank you for everything that you do. Miigwech.
All right. Thank you so much, PA Piccini, not just for those words, but your continued and ongoing support, not just for FNTI, but the Indigenous institutes in general. So, chi miigwech, PA Piccini. Okay, we're going to try and do this trivia thing. So here's your first chance to win some swag. I understand we have some sweaters, jackets, backpacks, all kinds of stuff. So please put your responses into the Facebook chat. Here's your first two questions. Who was the first president of FNTI? First president of FNTI back in 1985. And second question, FNTI once had computer sales and a printing division. What was the name of that company? Okay, so put your responses in the chat and the marketing team will be reaching out to you if you're the first to respond. Okay, next up, we've got a recording from the Member of Parliament for the Bay of Quinte, the Honourable Todd Smith, who is the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services. So we've got a pre-recording from the Honourable Todd Smith, and we'll go to that now.
Hi there, it's Todd Smith, Ontario's Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, and the Member of Provincial Parliament for Bay of Quinte, just west of the Tyendinaga Mohawk Territory. Congratulations on your 35th anniversary, FNTI. Since 1985, as First Nations Technical Institute, you've continued to build degree and diploma programs over the years and making sure that you're providing great post-secondary education to so many people across the province and across the country. Over 4,000 graduates since 1985, 98% of them going on to get meaningful work. That's a remarkable statistic as you continue to create the leaders of tomorrow from First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities. Continued success for another 35 years.
All right, so we are next going to our board. So I'd like to introduce the chair of the board of directors for FNTI, Chair Brant. Ralph, I hand it off to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess I've unmuted myself, have I? All right. This is the first time I've ever been on a virtual meeting, so let me start off by congratulating FNTI and thanking them for the contribution that they've made to Aboriginal education over the past 35 years. And I'm speaking on behalf of the board, so that message comes from the board of directors. I've been chair of the board of directors for the past 5 years, and I consider that to be a great honor and a privilege. And I've learned an awful lot through this process. The other members of the board of directors are Pam Detler, Winston Brant, Donald Oft, Kate Brant, and Doug Green. And that board of directors has worked very hard to put in place ground rules and policies that allow the board to provide the necessary guidance and long-term strategic plans that will ensure the continued success of the organization. Our vision and values have been designed to support the long-term version of FNTI. I especially want to thank the board members for their commitment and support in serving FNTI. I just want to talk a little bit about I've mentioned this before, but I want to mention it again. As most of you know, I went to school on the reserve there, and it was called the Eastern Indian Day School. And then it was called the New Indian Day School, great names. But in that time at school, there was no cultural aspect to any of the programs or any of the classes that we took. There was never any information given about our own culture. And it's so good to see that that has now changed, at least with FNTI. And I understand in the public school on the reserve as well. One other, when I attended the graduation ceremony for the aviation program last year, I was simply amazed at how well the students could speak in front of people. Of course, that is something that's being taught in these classes as well. So it's a wonderful thing to see. Also, I want to thank our president, Suzanne, for the work that she has done, the great work that she has done to build a very strong team that successfully carries out not only the delivery of our programs, but also ensures that we have in place the organization and policies to ensure our success into the future. Again, congratulations to the board and our president, Suzanne, and her team on this significant milestone and ensuring FNTI's success into the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ralph. Wonderful words as always. Really appreciate you taking the time. Next up, we've got a very familiar face. I'd like to introduce the Chief of the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte, Chief R. Donald MARACLE. Chief, I will hand it off to you and welcome.
Seko sa wakwe ko sa dakari tegang wagatsanoni. I want to bring greetings to everybody today, and I had the great fortune, Ralph, of my grandparents speaking Mohawk, so I learned it at home and from the older generation. But today brings back many memories of more than some 37 or 38 years ago when FNTI was just an idea. And of course, it was the vision of Chief Earl Hill. When I first got on council, a lot of our students were dropping out of their education programs, and the success rate wasn't as good as what we had hoped for. And so we discussed in our council if we created a learning environment in our own community, one that was Indigenous positive, where they would have the company of their own people in a native environment that would facilitate greater learning of our people. So the vision of FNTI came about, and so we needed an educator. So we went to a Quinte Mohawk school and had Earl and I and Doug MARACLE had meetings with Bruce Miller and asked Bruce to come and give us a hand in setting up the Technical Institute. Of course, we had many challenges, I guess, in those early days. One was to get community acceptance of it. We didn't really have a lot of capital money to work with from Indigenous Services Canada. So the band took the gamble of buying 6 portable classrooms from the Catholic School Board in Belleville. And that's the building now that's FNTI. They were put together, and Donnie C., in our Economic Development Department, oversaw putting those buildings together to get it operational. And Peachtree Printing operated downstairs because we were trying to create employment opportunity for our people as well. And so that came into existence and operated for a number of years, pumping quite a few $1 million into First Nations pockets here in the community. But today I look back on the struggles that we had really for support and recognition of, first of all, the importance of Indigenous education, and one that was focused on incorporating the culture and creating a positive learning environment for Native people. So we had many meetings with John Monroe, who was a Liberal member of Parliament, and David Crombie under the Conservatives, and Eugene Harrigan was the Regional Director General at the time. And we had many meetings with him, but he was always quite supportive of providing us money. It was usually slippage is what was given to FNTI to get FNTI going and started. And so Bruce Miller did a lot of work in getting recognition from the Ministry of Colleges and Universities, and was always actively lobbying daily for money for FNTI to get programs going. The first program, I think, was the Social Services Diploma Program. Many of the First Nations needed trained social services. So there were partnerships established with the existing colleges to create a learning environment in our community for that program, for the media program, for other secondary programs. And the airport had been used before as a furniture manufacturing company. Denny Tompkins had that there. He moved out. He decided to pursue other business interests. Carl Brandt had a sewing operation in partnership with Bata Shoe Company. That sort of came to an end. The airport was sitting there idle. And so we discussed what we could do with that airport. We said, well, why don't we just use it for what it was built for, an airport, and hence the idea of having a flight school came about. First Nations First Nations, the flying school came into existence. So there were many programs and initiatives, but it didn't always have the support of the community. I can remember when you spent $100,000 trying to build something back in those days, a lot of the communities were skeptical. It was a white elephant, as many of our critics called it. They didn't see any hope or success with it. They thought it was a foolish move on the part of the chief and council to create this institute. But we forged ahead, and many times over the years, we had to prop up loans to FNTI to keep it afloat, which we did, because we wanted our young people to succeed in education, because we realized that only through education could they really have a good quality of life and be in a position to contribute to the good of their community and to other people. So what was key was relationships, to have good relations with government officials, the Ministry of Colleges and Universities. When Bob Ray was the governor of Ontario, we lobbied their minister, and their minister was, what was his name again? Richard, help me out there, Richard. His first name was Richard. He was the former president there. You know who I mean, Richard. And he was the NDP minister. And how he first came to our community, I took him around to demonstrate to him about all the MPs, and on a bus load, I was trying to improve the quality of housing for a lot of our seniors and disabled people and people who were severely marginalized income-wise. So I took them around to show them firsthand on the bus what living conditions were really like for these people and what challenges they faced. Then we talked about education. And so we formed a relationship with Richard. Then eventually he came and became the president of FNTI after Bruce left. But a lot of work went into the pioneers, I'll call it. I think Doug was the first chairman of the board. And of course, at that time, the council was the board of directors, along with there were some representatives from Loyalist College. And Bruce and one of the lawyers that the band worked with was also on the board. And so they were trying to create positive education, opportunity to have access to post-secondary education programs here on the reserve. And of course, it grew into be a very successful organization that exists today, but it's the culmination of vision, of leadership, of perseverance, of working to build positive relationships, and never giving up, to be determination to be successful. And so all those elements have been at work over the years, the last 35 years, and I'm happy to see that that FNTI is now well recognized right across the country and other parts of the world as a learning center for Indigenous people and a learning center of excellence. So I say congratulations to everybody that's been involved over the years, and to the current administration and the board of directors. It's a great asset to our community and to Indigenous people, and I'm very proud to bring congratulations on behalf of our council and everyone today. Thank you. Yawangoa.
Chimigwech, Chief Miracle. Always, we know you around here as a huge, huge supporter of the institution and, well, Indigenous education right across the province. So Chimigwech, Chief. Okay, so I'm glad I relayed the trivia questions first because the Chief let the cat out of the bag on one of those. But the first two answers were Bruce Millar is our first president. And the name of the sales and printing divisions was Peachtree Technologies. Peachtree Technologies. So please, if you guessed that and you won, please connect with our marketing staff on the Facebook chat. Okay, next up we have some comments from MPP Daryl Cramp, and that's a pre-recorded message. So I'll hand it over to Joel to play that for us.
Hi, Daryl Cramp, the Provincial Member of Parliament for Hastings, Lennox and Addington here. It's a distinct pleasure today to take part in today's milestone event. I have represented FNTI as the elected member of the federal and provincial parliaments for over 13 years. I'm proud of FNTI's incredible record of achievement in that time and in the 35 years since the province gave its blessing by incorporating it as a full-fledged technical institute in 1985. Back then, a high bar for achievement was set, and then FNTI surpassed it, becoming a provincial and now national leader with alumni across the country, from sea to sea to sea. FNTI has provided a unique and valuable service to our Indigenous community in Hastings, Lennox and Addington, and nationwide. I know I have friends, neighbors among those alumni, as well as constituents. The hard work and dedication FNTI provides for their students, staff, and community is to be commended. FNTI hasn't been fazed by having to go virtual during this pandemic, and their new student-centric virtual classroom will allow them an even greater reach. Regretfully, I am unable to be with you live today for your celebration, but I'm certainly with you in spirit. Last year, I was proud to sponsor FNTI's Presentation Day at Queen's Park, and look forward to when we can all resume in-person gatherings. Until then, please stay safe. God bless.
All right, I'd like to acknowledge MPP Cramp for those kind words. Always a big friend of the institution here. So next up, we've got a very special guest. We're really, really happy and pleased to have Minister Mark Miller with us. He is the Minister of Indigenous Services Canada, a familiar face to many of us, I think, on Facebook today. So I'll hand it off to you, Minister Miller. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me here. Hello, bonjour. Sego wat kwanuerado. Mark Miller, Yochets, Yata Quitnio ne Indigenous Services Canada, Latina Lumqua. Wagatsanumichiska Iduesne Okwahomwe down Wanchage. Hi everyone, my name is Mark Miller. Greetings to you all. I am the Minister of Indigenous Services, and I am here, as all of you are, in various different forms on traditional Indigenous territory, in my case, the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. It is my honor and pleasure to join you virtually on the 35th anniversary of FNTI. I want to congratulate you for creating such an enduring and growing legacy. As we mark this anniversary, as best we can, given the current circumstances, which is why my big face is on this screen, we celebrate the achievements as opposed to in person, because nothing would make me happier than to be down there and join you. And I've been there indeed once on location. We celebrate the achievements of a First Nations owned and government educational institute, one of which has been working to adapt post-secondary education and the needs and aspirations of First Nations students. What you're doing is something that you're doing, as you've always highlighted, in a unique way, by using Indigenous knowledge and awareness to teach young First Nations men and women how best to navigate the world they live in. FNTI has become a living tribute to the foresight of the chiefs and council and the hard work and dedication, foremost, of the staff. Staff are continuously innovating, as highlighted by the 49 post-secondary programs you have delivered since 2011, programs which our department is exceedingly proud to support. Indigenous youth can achieve anything and everything, and you're all helping them find a way of adapting experience and wisdom of their ancestors in order to thrive. For the successful education of future contributors to the betterment of mankind is also a matter of personal growth, notably through real-life learning experience. It's therefore refreshing for First Nations students to come into contact with an institution focused on helping their students be outstanding members of family and community. The First Nations Technology Institute is not merely making post-secondary education relevant for Indigenous students. By involving your communities, you're creating unique and user-friendly learning experiences and environments. And this is what you're doing as a recognized institute by the Ontario Ministry of Colleges and Universities. Recently, you've been providing students with bachelor's degrees, which means you're succeeding at bridging the gap between both worlds in a way that best benefits your students. Your success was further demonstrated by your students' 98% employment rate following graduation. This is amazing. This from over 4,000 graduates and counting as you welcome approximately 300 students annually. Such results can only be achieved by helping those students find their own path forward to a successful future as they wish to define in harmony with the world around them. This starts a path of lifelong learning and personal growth through which Indigenous peoples can overcome the colonial educational policies. On September 23rd, Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Julie Payette, Governor General of Canada, opened the second session of the 43rd Parliament by delivering the speech from the throne, entitled A Stronger and More Resilient Canada. That speech highlighted supporting additional capacity building and addressing food insecurity for First Nations, which are key priorities of my department and this government. Both of these you are yourselves working to address. FNTI Food Sustainability Post-Secondary Program shows you're developing and delivering programs based on First Nations needs so as to help carve a better future for First Nations people in Canada and shape a better country for us all. For our part, we will also continue the post-secondary engagement process begun in 2019, meeting with First Nations and Indigenous institutions like FNTI to discuss current needs, and indeed, with your personnel, I've discussed that recently. We want to adapt the post-secondary partnerships to better support you. And FNTI is notably well positioned because of its long history to articulate what Indigenous institutions need to ensure to enhance their students' post-secondary success. Again, congratulations to all involved, and I look forward to working with FNTI as you plan and build towards a bright future for ever-growing number of Indigenous students. Thank you. Merci. Tony Kawanage.
Miigwech, Minister Miller, really great to see you again, and we really appreciate you taking the time considering that there's a lot going on in Ottawa today. So Miigwech, and really happy to have you here. The trivia seemed to be a big hit, so I'm going to throw another couple of questions out there. These ones are a little bit harder. So FNTI actually produced its own computer back in the early days of FNTI. What was it named? There's actually two names for it. And then I'll throw a second question out there. What was the first program to be accredited at FNTI? So please put your responses in the chat. There was a lot of responses, I noticed that, so that's fantastic. Okay, next I'd like to hand it off to my friend Lori. Lori Robinson is the Executive Director of the Indigenous Advanced Education and Skills Council. So Lori, great to see you. Welcome, and I'll hand it off to you.
Oh, good afternoon. So good to see all of you. Wow, you all look wonderful. Suzanne, you're just amazing. Ogimabanizik Indishnakas, Hunters Point Donchba, North Bay Donda. I'm joining you today. Where am I sitting? I'm on the traditional territory of the Bissings, more commonly known as the Nipissings, and I'm up in the Robinson Huron Treaty Territory here in North Bay. Not actually too far from where I live. I know that there's a lot of students tuned in today watching this presentation, and I'm not sure if FNTI has alumni yet from the territory I come from over in Quebec near Kippawa. So hope that we can add a few names there, Suzanne. No, really, no, Miigwech for the invitation to join you all today. Congratulations, President Brant. Greetings, Chief Ardon. Congratulations to your board chair, Ralph, your board members, and that very, very, very long line of students who've been a big part of your first 35 years. It is an honor to help celebrate your anniversary today. As the chair and executive director of the first organization of its kind, I believe, in Canada, at least appointed through legislation, or recognized rather. We're here, we provide quality assurance for a brand new exciting pillar in the province of Ontario, the Indigenous Institutes pillar. It's my pleasure to join you, and it's my pleasure to witness what's happening here. Joining me as I witness, I've brought some sacred items that were gifted to the council, and you know, we have a feather, have a drum, and behind me we have 2 belts, one of which was gifted from FNTI. So really important to invite those to this celebration as well. I'm excuse me, I really, just very, very briefly, friends, I want to tell you something really exciting. This brand new pillar is probably going to turn things around. I really, really believe it will. FNTI is a part of this brand new pillar in Ontario. The institutes, all the Indigenous institutes, back in 2017, joined the post-secondary landscape that has been occupied primarily by colleges and universities and other training institutes. But now there's an exciting new pillar, a new choice for learners and students to study and to take up their careers, to fulfill their dreams, their family dreams, and support their communities. And I just think that that's wonderful. 35 years and a lot has changed. 35 years ago, many Indigenous learners wanting education had to seek it from outside sources, such as schools, colleges, and universities. We heard Chief Ardon talk about that, and be away from families and be away from their communities. The frameworks, philosophies, and curricula that shaped the college and university education system then, and many would say to a certain degree now, did not come from our people, did not come from our languages, didn't come from our cultures. These systems were transplanted from across the ocean and given recognition and legitimacy through policy. Some of the earlier universities were founded and recognized through charters more than 200 years ago. And colleges were recognized as a new post-secondary pillar in the province of Ontario in the 1960s. The input of Indigenous people was very limited in those systems, if present at all. But a whole lot has changed since then. And all of that's a really important story to know and to understand. And I'd love to share more with you on that, but at another time. Today, it's a pleasure to say congratulations to FNTI. There, we heard the chief talk about their early beginnings, their Indigenous-led programming back in the 80s. He talked about building relationships and all the work that went into that, and it's still happening today. Building those relationships, supporting the development of a workforce in communities, ensuring cultural knowledge and traditional ways of knowing had space and place in the learning environment, among many, many other important developments and foundations. And they continue to work as hard today to develop and serve learners and communities as they did then. Oh, hang on. I just have to return to my earlier comments and story. You see, there was an important shift in the story, and that is in the inclusion of Indigenous peoples at a whole new level in post-secondary education and training in Ontario. The Indigenous Institutes Act that both President Brant spoke of, MPP Piccini spoke of, that act is very important and the first legislation of its kind in this country. Building on decades of long work of Indigenous institutes in Ontario, such as FNTI, and providing education and training, that important new law provides the recognition of Indigenous control of Indigenous education. And that act, as we heard President Brant say, commits to realizing the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Article 14 outlines that Indigenous peoples have a right to establish and control their education systems and institutions, provide education in their own languages in a manner appropriate to their cultural methods of teaching and learning. And we are seeing Article 14 come to life We are seeing it come to life through the culture-based post-secondary education and training delivered by FNTI and other institutes in the province. There has not been a significant change in the post-secondary education training landscape since the 1960s in Ontario. How exciting that there's one now. This act offers an opportunity for institutes like FNTI to bring forward programs that reflect the priorities of the nations and the communities they serve and are recognized across the post-secondary landscape. It offers new opportunities for the landscape, for Ontario, and for Canada. On behalf of the board of directors for the council, we certainly wish continued success to FNTI in offering their wonderful programs and serving all those many, many students, many who are tuned in on the Facebook Live. But, special greetings to all of you. I'm just really thrilled and honored to offer our congratulations to your staff, to your executive leadership team, your faculty, your students, the families, and the communities on 35 years of high quality Indigenous post-secondary education and training. Really want to say thank you, wish everyone well, stay safe, wear a mask. Nawe miigwech.
Thanks so much, Lori. I've known you for, I guess, about 12 or 13 years now, and I can let everyone know watching that your energy and your leadership, your incredible leadership, really permeates any organization you're in and permeates the people that you work with. And you've been a great friend to FNTI and an incredible partner. So chi miigwech to you. Okay, next we've got a pre-recording from Neil Ellis. Neil is the Member of Parliament for the Bay of Quinte. So I'll throw it over to Joel to play that recording for you.
Good afternoon and a happy 35th anniversary to everyone at First Nations Technical Institute. It is great to be here with you digitally to celebrate this milestone and the wonderful impact that FNTI has had on the Bay of Quinte. Over the last 35 years, FNTI has provided spaces designed for Indigenous peoples and to celebrate their culture. From its beginning as a training facility for the Canadian Royal Flying Corps to today, education has always been a part of FNTI's history. The focus on community-based model of education is one of the many qualities that distinguishes FNTI from the rest. Through your varied programs in social work, restorative justice, midwifery, sustainable food systems, leadership, language training, and more, FNTI is equipping people to bring Indigenous knowledge into the world and to create the bridges that can help us reach a brighter future. Collaborations with our government on fantastic programs like the Local Food Initiative and the Indigenous Aviation Program are great examples of what we can achieve together. I look forward to what the next 35 years and more will bring. Congratulations again, take care, and stay safe.
All right, I'd like to acknowledge MP Ellis for those words. And so I just want to follow up on the trivia question. So the answer to the first one, there's two answers. So the name of our first computer, the Spirit or the Beaver. And so I think I saw in the chat that there was a couple of guesses there. I don't think anyone got the Beaver. And then the first program to be accredited, that we accredited in partnership, was Indigenous Community Health Approaches. I don't think I saw anyone put that into the chat, so I think I stumped you there, so I'm really happy about that. All right, next up, we've got Blaine Loft. Blaine Loft is an alumnus and a very recently retired cultural advisor and instructor here at FNTI. So Blaine.
Excuse me. Gwe. Ani buzu hello sewa gwego iskuruni de youngyats dano Blaine Loft youngyats dano dega yentenego rono dano waganat nuni. Greetings this afternoon. I'm in the land of the peacemaker here in Tyendinaga, where the sun always shines, and I am honored and humbled to be asked by FNTI to offer a few words on behalf of the alumni. I attended the SSW program in the 90s, graduating with an FNTI diploma and Loyalist College diploma in 98, I believe it was. Also took the ICHAP program. So I was a group of others at that time that, we had that honor of having one of the first diplomas issued by FNTI. Going back to the SSW program, at that time, we traveled to Sault Ste. Marie, which was the halfway point between North and South. And our cohort was pretty large. I think there was around 30 of us, and could have been more. So there were students coming out of the North, and of course, there was a great deal of Tyendinaga-Rono who were also in the SSW course traveling from here. First time I had ever been in a Aboriginal organizational that offered an Indigenous perspective on education, and it was a really exciting time. And some of those individuals, that were involved, Diane Hill and Bob as well from Oneida, who's passed recently, were my instructors at the time, and we had a really good time, utilizing a lot of Indigenous processes and Indigenous knowledge in that very first cohort that I was involved in. And so, from that, I became the chairman of the board for FNTI from 2000, from about 1999, I think, to about 2003. So I've been watching Ralph to make sure that he's doing a good job, and of course he is, and as well as all the board members, and some of those board members are there when I was there as well. And I came onto Mohawk Council in 2003, and so from 2003 to 2007, I was the Mohawk Council rep for FNTI, and there was some really exciting times that were happening, as well as some really difficult times, and so I was happy to be a part of that. I retired from MBQ as a social worker in 2016 and came to work in a new program that FNTI was delivering on mental health and addictions, and that has been sort of my background for the last 40 some odd years. And I was happy and pleased to be able to kind of come full circle, I guess, with being a student, and actually even before that, I'd done a lot of the drywall work at the building that is currently the hub for FNTI, back in the 80s, and I had a construction company at that time. But in 2016, came to work for FNTI as an instructor, and then eventually a knowledge keeper and cultural advisor. And I was so impressed and happy to see how far FNTI had came, from those days of 1990. And I was very happy to be a part of that process for the last 4 years, retiring in July of this year. At a time for me to retire, and I just wanted to add before I leave that I wanted to offer my congratulations to the board of FNTI, the senior admin for FNTI, all the staff of FNTI, and for all of the students that have been able to take advantage of an Indigenous learning process. Congratulations on 35 years, and I wish you another 35 years or longer. You've done so much work in promoting Aboriginal ideology, our knowledge, our understanding of the world, and being able to pair that, with the necessities of being able to be employed in the modern world are unprecedented, as I've heard so many of the speakers say. And so I was so happy to be a part of that. And I again offer my congratulations to everyone within the FNTI organization, and wishing you the very best in the future to come. I can only imagine. Nyawa, Onagiwahi.
Miigwech, Blaine. It's really, really awesome to see you. You know, I can say quite confidently that you know, we all miss seeing you in person. We miss hearing your voice. So thank you for those really kind words, and hope you're doing well. Hope you're taking some rest. So, but I know that's not possible with you. All right, for some closing remarks, we'll hand it back over to President Brant. Suzanne, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Adam. So I'd like to thank our Board of Directors for their insight, guidance, and patience. Their commitment and belief in FNTI's purpose gives us a firm foundation. I am grateful to Chief R. Donald MARACLE and the Mohawks of the Bay Quinte for their unwavering support of FNTI and our commitment to Indigenous post-secondary education. Thank you to the provincial government and to the Indigenous Advanced Education and Skills Council for their consultation, cooperation, and hard work as we lay the foundation for this new road forward together. This validation and affirmation of the Indigenous knowledge that is integral to our lives is monumental. I would like to acknowledge the federal government, our allies, for the support and advocacy in our mission to improve our capacity to provide exemplary standards of post-secondary education for our learners. Our donors make it possible for us to bestow bursaries that provide more opportunities to learners facing obstacles to their educational journey. But my greatest gratitude goes to our learners. You are our purpose, our passion, and our mission. Thank you to everyone for joining us in celebrating these evolutionary and impactful 35 years. Nyawagoa and Miigwech.
As is our tradition in Haudenosaunee culture and Anishinaabe culture, we will close off with a traveling song. So I'll invite Shelley Mandakwe Charles to close us off. Shelley, the floor is yours.
Bonjour, Mandakwe Indigenous Cause, Muskanosha, Gigon Ndodem. Joliang and Donjaba, Georgina Island, Minoa, Neashi, Onigaming. Chimigwech, Shomislanic, Kokimislanic. That song is a song about helping us to continue to be kind, to teach kindness in everything we do on this road, on this beautiful road that we call Minobamadazuin. And it's my privilege and my pleasure to be involved with this team, this innovative team, helping all of our youth and all of us go forward into the future. Gichi apchago miigwech.
Thank you, Shelley. Miigwech, everyone.
Ani, and happy 35th anniversary, FNTI. My name is Greg Luke, and I'm a member of the Matagami First Nation. I graduated the aviation program in 1999, and I was fortunate enough to flight instruct for FNTI for 4 years. From then, I went on to fly float planes up in Thompson, Manitoba, and I eventually landed in Timmins, where I've been flying for Air Quebec for the last 16 years. It makes me proud to see so many graduates from FNTI in the aviation industry. Many of them I've had the privilege to teach. And I'll always be grateful for all the opportunities FNTI has given me, along with the many amazing friendships. Chimigwich, and happy anniversary.
Happy 35th anniversary FNTI. My name is WABANO. I'm from Pewanak, Ontario, which is off the coast of Hudson Bay. I graduated FNTI in the year of 2015, and since then I went to work with Air Quebec as a first officer, where we serve northern communities, both on the Quebec and Ontario side. To those currently enrolled into the FNTI program, I hope to hear you guys soon in the sky. Good luck. Have fun.
Congratulations FNTI on 35 successful years. If it wasn't for you and the Public Administration and Governance program, I wouldn't have this. I achieved my BA in 2005 and I've never looked back. So thank you so much for offering this great program to our First Nation members across this Turtle Island here, and here's to 35 more successful years. Go FNTI!
Hi, I'm Ted Tipo. I'm a graduate of the FNTI Aviation program, now working with Jazz Aviation. I'd like to say congratulations on 35 years.
Sago FNTI, happy 35th anniversary. My name is KOHOKO. I'm from Tyendinaga. Graduated FNTI in class of 1997. Today I'm currently working at Air Quebec, captain on -8. Just like to send out a big huge thanks to FNTI for all the training and support that I received while I was there. Helped me pursue my dreams as a pilot for all of you graduating or still training, be strong, hang in there. Pandemic won't last long. Aviation will pick back up soon. Nyawa. Goodbye.
Hi everyone, my name is Andrew BISSON. I'm a member of Chicken First Nation. I graduated from Ryerson FNTI program in 2014, and now I'm an instructor with the program. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone at FNTI. You've made a massive difference for me and for so many First Nations people across the province. Chimigwech.
Ani, hello. My name is Sabrina MANITOWABI. I'm from Wokamakong Unceded Territory and a pilot for Air Quebec. I graduated from FNTI, class of 2007, and I just want to say happy 35th anniversary.
Hi, I'm BEARDY, class of 2012 Fixed Wing program. I'm a proud member of the Shimada First Nation in Manitoba. I'm a commercial pilot. My time at FNTI was a very important part of my life. There were certainly challenges, but FNTI was always there for me. I've even had the opportunity to fly with a fellow FNTI graduate as my first officer. Happy 35th anniversary, FNTI, and many more.
Happy 35th anniversary, FNTI. My name is Kayla, I'm from Thunder Bay. I graduated FNTI in 2019 and now I'm a first officer for Mississippi Airways, flying in northern Manitoba.
Sango FNTI, happy 35th anniversary. Inspector Gary Maracle, Unit Commander, OPP Aviation Services here, and graduating member of the 1993 class. So just consider the impact you've made throughout Ontario. In the last 5 years, I've been Unit Commander, who directly been responsible for locating over 700 lost, missing, and overdue persons throughout Ontario. That couldn't have happened without the education, guidance, and experience I gained in my time at FNTI. So thank you for making such a big impact on my life and those throughout Ontario. Happy anniversary, everybody.
Hello and happy 35th anniversary FNTI. My name is April O'Halloran and I'm a graduate of the 2018 Aviation Fixed Wing Program and a member of Nipissing First Nations. Currently work as a medevac pilot for Mississippi Airways. We're based out of Manitoba, helping isolated northern remote communities gain access to proper medical care. Without FNTI's guidance, teaching, and resources, I wouldn't be able to do the job I'm doing right now. To all the students enrolled, keep up the good work. I know it's challenging times, and to all the alumni, congratulations on your many accomplishments. Again, I say happy 35th anniversary FNTI. That's an awesome accomplishment.
Segu, gari wawisa yung jets. Kain tanega ni WABANO dano FNTI gadawi nasto haje. Happy anniversary FNTI, 35 years. Me, I studied through my social service diploma, my master's. I'm currently working on and finished my BSW 2 years ago. Yamagoa, happy anniversary.
Hello, my name is Cameron Anderson. I graduated FNTI in 1999. Just like to say very big congratulations on the 35th anniversary of flight school. Big accomplishment, and many thanks to my flight instructor that helped me through. I've been flying now provincial airlines for the last 19 years. Started out on the Twin Otter, spent 12 years flying offshore on the King Air, doing offshore stints. And now most recently on the Dashi. Anyways, just like to say once again, congratulations on the 35 years and hopefully 35 more. Thank you.
Happy anniversary FNTI. My name is Dakota FERSTER and I graduated from the aviation program in 2011. I'm currently employed as a first officer with Air Canada, where I've been flying the Boeing 767 for the last 2.5 years. I recently started training on the Airbus A220 and I should be checked out and flying online in a couple months. Congratulations on 35 years and all the best in the future.
Ani, good afternoon. Happy 35th anniversary, FNTI. Teresa Migwans, Atikmikshing Anishinaabek. Finance Manager for Atikmikshing Anishinaabek. I graduated in 2005 from the Public Administration and Governance program between FNTI and Ryerson University. So congratulations, 35 years and more to come. Miigwech. Bamapi.
I'm Vanessa Brown, a graduate of the aviation program in 2014. I'm currently working for PAL Aerospace in the medevac program in my hometown of Happy Valley Goose Bay. Congratulations FNTI on 35 years.
Ani, my name is Victor TABOBANDUNG. I'm an Anishinaabe from the Wasauksing First Nation. I'm an alumni graduate of the FNTI Aviation Program, class of 1992. I'm proud to be working at Air Canada as a Boeing 777 First Officer. My experience helps me give back to the program as both a simulator instructor and a facilitator of the Crew Resource Management course. I just wanted to say congratulations on the 35th anniversary and Chimigwech for helping all our dreams take flight.
Hi everybody, my name is Nathan. I'm a member of the Tyendinaga Mohawk Territory. I am an FNTI graduate. I graduated in 2001 and I am currently employed with Air Quebec. I've been with Air Quebec since 2006 and I'm a Dash 8 line captain and I'm just so proud to be a graduate of the program. Amazing experience, wonderful people, and I encourage anyone interested in getting into aviation to look at FNTI. Amazing program, wonderful people, 35 years, so proud.
Happy 35th anniversary, FNTI. It's been 35 years of providing stellar educational programs and access to Indigenous students across Ontario as well as other parts of Canada. My name is Steve Teekins. I'm from Nipissing First Nation and I attended the Public Administration program and graduated in 2017. And then I went on to do the Masters of Public Administration program in partnership with FNTI and Queen's University. And I just graduated in 2020. So anyways, you know, this educational experience, what it's brought to me in my life is confidence in the work that I do. I've been able to, you know, fulfill my current role as the executive director far more effectively. It gave me a lot of the tools I need to know to do my job well, as well as understand the functions of both you know, federal, provincial, and municipal governments, and how to successfully maneuver across them and understand the procedures that they have in place. So, you know, I also work as with FNTI on a part-time basis as the cultural advisor for the PAG program. And you know, FNTI has really created a lot of great opportunities for me personally in my career, and I'm very grateful. So, miigwech FNTI and happy anniversary.